Okay, so welcome again for our lovely Friday with some lovely meditative practices. And again, just watching what's happening in your own body or what's happening in your environment, in your life at the moment, and anchoring in with that, connecting to that. So I'm just looking out, nature down here, the valley to outside my window. And yeah, there's so much activity in nature at the moment, so much life, so much bursting forth. So it's and here in Ireland, we're heading into a bank holiday weekend. So for those of you who are working, hopefully you'll get a little bit of break, even if you are working from home. So a chance to sort of celebrate with season and celebrate where you are at the moment. So we'll connect again to the Dantian as we normally do, a little bit of silent standing practice just to anchor in and gather wherever you are in the world. Anchoring yourself right here for the next 70 minutes or so. Noticing the touch of the palms on the Dantian area of the tummy. Connecting to the body. So bringing our awareness inside, internally, to movement of the body and bringing our mind's focus to that. So one palm on the heart, one on the belly, and touch base now with the breathing. And we'll just follow the rhythm of the breathing as it's naturally moving at the moment. Breathing in and out. So let the body expand out, push out the palms. And then notice as the breath leaves the body, follow this direction of movement. Noticing how the movement expands the body as you breathe in. And how it relaxes and the body condenses back in, belly going towards the spine as we breathe out. A couple of very conscious breaths then as we breathe in, let the body expand. The belly to the rib cage, chest. As we breathe out, relax chest back in, belly, and relax inward and expand, filling the belly, rising up through the chest and expanding and relaxing in and down. Following your own breathing rhythm then, the body, breathing in and out. Feeling the feet on the floor, little bend in the knee as you breathe out, collapsing in. As you breathe in and expand, reach the crown up towards the sky. Connect the tailbone to the earth as you sink back in. It's really strengthening your awareness of the body's connection to the space around it, above, below, and in all directions. Lovely. And relax the palms back down to the Dantian. And shift the weight left to right. Sense of connecting the feet to the floor. And notice as you just let the weight fill into each leg. Just a sense of anchoring down into the ground. Rethinking the chi, helping the chi, if we've had a busy morning already, to slowly sink downwards into the Dantian, our center, reservoir of chi. Connecting always to the earth, Lovely. So from there, we'll go into shaking, rising, moving from the belly, loosening everywhere. So it's quite a physical practice, but it also shakes out all the thinking, the thought patterns. So allowing the shaking and loosening out to soften anything that's rigid, tight in the body, in the mind, in the heart, any holding. Just invite the body and all those areas to open and soften. Anywhere we're tight, we block, like the flow of water. We're blocking the flow of qi. And blocking, as areas unblock, even circumstances in our life, they also need to flow. So by shaking out into situations that we're finding challenging, you also invite a fresh flow of energy, fresh flow of thought, and fresh perspectives into each area we're involved in. Just inviting that freshness, letting go of the old, any tightness, holding. And sometimes I like to say anything we're very invested in or that we're certain about, just softening all our certainties and just being open to the nature of life as being an ever-changing thing. So this practice, you can keep going for 5 minutes, whatever you need, or do it a few times a day. Really shake out everything from the physical body, the joints. So any area, particularly if you work with computers, shake out the wrists, the joints, the fingers, elbows, shoulders, all the hip, all the bone structure around the pelvic girdle, hips, knees, ankles. Open palms slightly towards the front and shaking out the front body and the back. So with this shaking, it's really good to do a couple of purging out breaths. So big sigh, external loud sigh as you breathe out. Breathe in through the nose and sigh. So you're relaxing the whole lung system. Bringing in fresh oxygen, fresh air. Emptying out stale, anything stale in the system. Very good. Okay, so we'll come in to a V with the feet and we'll move into bow stance. So stepping from the V, tap to the side and forward, just to give yourself that breath rather than feet very close. You want a little bit of breath to give stability as you move forward and back. And then let the arms swing up as you move forward, swinging the arms, and let them just drop back down with gravity as the weight comes into the back foot. So no effort with the arms. They just naturally swing up, naturally drop back down. So all these movements, they're designed to, wherever you're at in your day or in your world, they're just designed to shake it up and loosen everything out, bring in freshness, softening the joints, helping circulation and fresh flow of qi. And swap, draw in the foot, step out to the side and forward with the other foot, same again. Just letting yourself go forward and drop the shoulders back. Very good. Slowly coming back to the center. The arm swing, just filter out. Lovely. Just go into a few warm-ups. So spiraling the palms. Coming up front, pushing slightly out forward. I'm turning the hip, and the hip is turning the elbow out. And we're rotating the wrists, like spiraling the wrists. The rest of the body staying nice and upright. Almost like you're pushing forward, so spiraling and turning the wrists. And making it a whole body movement. Like a little push from Tai Chi. Change direction, draw back in. Again, spiraling the wrists. If you have any tendinitis or trouble with arthritis in hands, anything to do with circulation in the hands, this is really excellent. If you have any old injuries, just again go nice and gentle or make the movements much smaller. Whatever you need to do, you could not do quite as big a spiral, do more like a conducting the orchestra type movement. Other than that, the spirals are very much the internal energy movement of Tai Chi and Qigong. So it's nice to have a go at these. We'll link fingers, wave through the arms, again helping the circulation, the elbows, wrists. And change direction. Opening the joints, helping to draw in freshness. And each and every movement you do, anchor in to the felt sense of the movement. The movement, I'm still shifting my weight from left foot to right foot and back again. And the turning of the waist. So anchoring my attention still down to the dantian. Okay, folks, we'll just put our palms on the shoulders, a few shoulder circles forward, turning from the waist again. And back. Circle out and up to the corner, lifting elbows towards the ears, like butterfly wings opening. Sense the back of the upper back, the whole shoulder blade moving and the muscles of the upper back. Getting a nice deep movement. Big stretch that's happening in nature. This expansion. And then contraction. So this whole circle of movement. Forward and opening into expansion. And circling back in to the center to contract, replenish, complete the circle. So we're always at some stage of expansion and then move into this, back into replenish. We contract back in. So the cycle or movement, each day, notice which part of the cycle you're at. And you might take a while to know But just notice which movements are feeling better, the more opening, and at other times, the more gathering or drawing in will feel better. So developing your own sensitivity to work whichever way your body needs at any given time of the day or any given day of the week. So internal connection to the movements, internal checking in with how you are. Great. Relax the palms down. Turn the palms out, looking down. Steadiness. So I have the palm looking down, so there's a little flex there at the wrist. So they're not just pointed at an angle, they're quite flexed. So you can feel that we're stimulating meridian lines and muscles up along the top of the arm. Don't overdo that, just a sense of inviting a stretch or a lengthening and opening. We'll just lift our ear, lean our shoulder towards the ear, back up, in the other direction. Very slow. I'm becoming very aware of the amount of tension some of us can hold in the shoulders, back of the neck. So you're not stretching here as a sense of deepening and opening. And also the thousands and thousands of messages that pass from the body to the brain to the body, up and down our central nervous system. It's just helping the whole passage of those nerve impulses to move, again like chi, move smoothly, easily, not jagged or sporadic, but smooth. Leaning the head, the chin towards the chest, and just slowly rotating around the front, back up the other side. I don't go back too far because I think that tends to be a point of where people can have injuries. So just circling from side to side across the front, straightening up, and then bringing the chin back down towards the chest and rotate along as you look down, coming back up. Soften out any areas that feel tight. Like stroking the back of the neck, lengthening, softening. Nice deep breaths. And back to the center. Turn the palms looking forward, and just opening. Again, you can slowly let the fingers go back slightly, stretching the fingers and opening the insides of the arms. And again with the shoulders, we're going to look up and down this time. Keeping the shoulders dropped. Side to side. So just looking towards your right, back to center, looking to left. As if the eyes are leading the head around to the side. So the eyes tend to give a much smoother, gentle pull along the front. And back to center. Draw in the palms, sink the knees, and just let the head look down. Opening. Sink. As you just let the head rest slightly with the head bowed, hands on the heart, just noticing how you are. As we go into the day, into the movements. And you relax into Qigong practice, sink back, circle the arms around. So you can either bring the arms to the height of the chest or lower down at the dantian area here. So we're just sitting back gently, letting the tailbone descend downwards, rather than the knees going forward, sitting slightly back. That should feel like a relaxation. Shoulders are dropped, roundness in the elbows, the wrists. Fingers are connected, a little gap between the fingers. This Qigong practice, again, one of the oldest practices for helping Qi flow in the body, helping unblock natural reserves of Qi. It's also big training in stamina and a sense of training ourselves into stillness, into holding a place of one position for a time, and developing a sense of patience with that. So as you notice any arising of tension in arms or anywhere else, just internally, you're developing the skill of relaxing that part. Notice if you're applying muscular strength or willpower, and just soften all of that effort. So you're putting your focus on releasing into the posture and releasing the habit of effort. Developing effortlessness, or this quality of wu wei in Chinese, effortless action. We're active, we're building strength, but we're not putting extra effort into parts that aren't moving. The effort is going in this part to soften, relax, softening our chest. The back is open, lower back and tailbone sinking down. Activating the legs, insides and outsides, to steady the hips, the knees, and the crown lifting up towards the sky. A lot of heat build up, Qi build up here. So keep the breathing going. Keep releasing and relaxing for another 30 seconds. Softening, strengthening the legs, upright line through the body. Soften anywhere that's holding on tightly. We're training ourselves how to soften holdings. Gathering a lot of Qi between the arms and the body. Circulation through the body and around the body. All that circulation goes in to our energy system, to the organs, so helping the health and functioning of our bodies and our minds. Slowly then release and relax the palms downwards towards the dantian. Gently straightening up the legs a little if they were bent. Palms outside the dantian, just drawing in the energy we've cultivated there. Imagine that soaking into the dantian area. Palms on the dantian. Just let yourself shift the weight left to right again. Spread the workload the feet have been doing for that practice. So from there, bring the arms behind the back and just hold the wrist with one hand. And we'll circle the hips. Keeping the crown of the head, again, always reaching upwards. And change direction. Very good. Knees together, circle the knees. The other direction. So I'm not leaning on the knees, just massaging the feet into the ground and letting them circle and open. Opening shoulder width. And just circle the feet. Let the weight go into one foot and then circle the ankle of the other foot. Massaging the ball of the foot, the bubbling well, the fresh chi comes in, massaging that into the ground, the other direction. If your balance is good, just sink the full weight into this foot, let the knee go over the direction of the toes, just lifting the other leg. Lean against the chair if you need to, circling the knee, lower leg, full leg. And then bending up and opening. A couple of circles. Opening the hip. Circle up and then circle around and back down. And change direction, circle out and in and down. Bend the foot, let the weight cross over and circle the other ankle. Leaning on the ball of the foot, so the front part of the foot, and massaging that kidney 1 point, where we release a lot of energy out of the body, draw energy in. Our connection too to the ground, the earth. Very good. From there, sink the weight. And again, if you think of the weight as it's going over the foot, you don't want the knee collapsing in. Just to protect the knee, we let the weight go in the direction, but not over the knee, so not ahead of the knee, but in the direction of the knee, and then we sink down into the heel. We let the knee go in the direction of the outside of the foot, or towards the second or third toe, not so much towards the big toe. And that then will help strengthen. Make the leg do the holding up of the body as opposed to the knee. If that does become difficult though, for balance purposes or whatever, feel free to leave the foot on the ground. A few little opening circles for the hips, or bring a chair nearby if you need support. Really not about causing any movement that disturbs the body. So some movements can challenge the body, but the body quite likes the opening and the movement, but not causing any movement to the body that really causes disturbance. So it causes it to work too hard or causes it to feel any pain or discomfort. So that means bring it back in. Lovely. Okay, folks, we'll do our tapping. So from the top of the head down through the body. This tapping or stimulating of points and the rivers of qi in the body, the meridians, the organs. So depending on what kind of day you're having, just notice any points in the body that feel a bit sore, tender. Maybe you're in a feeling like the spring that's expanding, so you need bigger movements. So feel free to do that through all the movements we do. Notice particularly any sorenesses or tightness or tiredness. So we're helping all of that to ease out the body. Massage, forehead, back to the temples. If you had a very busy, heady time, this is lovely for helping the mind to link up with the rest of the body. So the heart, the physical body. So all of you moves as one unit. Very good. And pulling the fingers through the hair. So the pads of the fingers really leaning quite strongly through the hair. So you can massage through quite strong. Back of the head. Drop the shoulders. Wonderful. So that area at the base of the skull, the muscles of the neck meet the skull, just a huge point of tension. So massage, self-care. Circle the palms around the neck, massaging the neck, looking slightly left and right. The ears, so pulling all the cartilage of the ears. Soft cartilage, massaging all around the ears. Whole system of acupuncture based on the ears. So by massaging even inside the ear, all these points up here, you're stimulating organs and meridian lines, particularly at the very top, up here, Shen Men point for stress. So where there's the hollow part of the ear, of this upper part, as it hollows and comes towards the central area there. If you press hard in there, that point can often feel sore. That's Shen Men point, so very good for releasing stress and tension. So massaging all around the ears, pulling, opening the jawbone, left, right. Might hear clicks, the top of the jaw there. So you're gently, again, even with this, you're not forcing the jaw open, but you're trying to soften the joint so that it opens easier. Again, not disturbing and aggressively pushing the joint. Very good. Massaging, again, the front of the neck. Tapping the chest. So out of the lung points, just inside the shoulders, massaging up and down, a couple of points there. slightly inside that stomach and kidney towards the center. Notice again any sorenesses or tensions in massaging. Pressing in quite strongly. And then tapping all around the chest, sternum, this thymus gland here. Any holding in the chest, in the heart area, tightness. So physical holding, but also any habit the body is in today of holding the breath, of holding in any way, just softening and helping it to open. Open the palm looking up. We'll tap the shoulder all the way down the inside of the arm to the palms and fingers. Turn the palm down and work your way back up. With an open palm, so there's points along the outer edges, up along the center. So when you're tapping like this, our hope is that you're getting as many points as possible stimulated, helping the rivers of chi to flow up and back down in their natural direction that they flow in. So bringing a sense, if you have had a sluggish few days or you're feeling a bit sluggish, this is wonderful for getting chi to flow. Tapping the top of the shoulder, down the side, all the way down the inside of the arm, just bringing vibrant chi. This, again, I'm always saying it is such a beautiful standalone practice of totally changing the vibrancy of the body, the mind. It's like getting a power hose, cleaning all around, up and down, and helping chi to flow, unblocking, coming down the sides of the body, across to the dantian, up the front. And relax that palm down. And we start again, this side. Any points of tension along the front of the chest, the lung points, from the inside of the shoulder, palm up as we come down, heading for the thumb, the heart, pericardium, and back up, the large intestine, triple burner, and the small intestine. So you're helping the flow in all those organs and meridian lines. We're doing, even as we move, helping drainage through the lymphatic system. So this is wonderful self-massage, self-care, maintenance, health preservation, all that good stuff. Under the arms, huge amount of lymph nodes, really stimulating all of that to move, soften, down the sides, across the belly, dantian, and just tapping the tummy. Any pain in the belly, turn this more into a massage. So mirroring you, the flow of digestion would be up the right, across the top and down the left. So slowly making those circles in the body, in the dantian, encircling the direction of digestion as it absorbs the nutrients of the body, takes in the goodness from the cells, brings goodness into the cells, oxygen, that lovely exchange in the cells happening. And try a few in the other direction. Around the back, tapping the kidneys, lower back. So if you're tired at the end of the day, and in Australia, just shaking out the tiredness, soothing the body. So depending what time of day you're doing this, you can invigorate to wake up or soothe it down towards relaxation and sleep. So coming down the front of the legs towards the knees, so the stomach channel. We'll tap the groins here first, the front, the top of the legs, top of the waist. So lots of organs here for digestion, your liver, gallbladder, spleen, pancreas, stomach, huge amount of activity here. The reproductive system, urinary system, all helped with fresh chi. And the legs, so down to the knees for the stomach, and up, come in slightly up the inside of the leg for the spleen and the liver. Same again, down the front, and slightly up the inside. And we'll go all the way down the outside for stimulating the gallbladder meridian line, around the front and up the insides, thinking here again of the kidneys, the spleen, the liver, down the outside, up the inside. A couple of rounds of that. And the legs, being such strong muscles in the body, give them a really strong tapping. Come down from the buttocks, down the back of the legs, the bladder channel, and around the front, up the insides. Good strong taps. Really stimulating and getting chi to flow beautifully in the body. And just brush off. Just sweep down over from the kidneys, bringing the palms in there, soothing, warming, strengthening this core essence chi of the kidneys. Sweep down the back of the legs and out, brushing off any like dust and energy dust and debris that we've tapped out of our system. Brushing, polishing the body. Sweeping. Same with the head. So rubbing the palms up the face and opening out down the sides. Neck. Hold the palms again, rub and the heels of the palms up to the eyes and just let the head rest into the palms. Drop the shoulders. Your palms are holding up the head, but you're not straining your shoulders or anywhere else because of that. Everything resting. Just sense the chi in the palms going into the face, the eyes, the eye sockets, deep into the head. Just letting the head rest. All the thoughts, thinking, the physical head, quite a very heavy part of us. Letting it all rest into the strength of the palms, full of chi. A couple more breaths like that. Just holding, relaxing. And slowly release down the palms and the sides. Just sensing how you are as you connect into the body again, the palms at the dantian, that lovely vibration and movement of chi in the body. It's a lovely sense of cleansing out the old and drawing in fresh energy. And then knowing that that stimulation or the tapping has invigorated all the channels of the body. And then letting it do its work as it knows best. Okay, folks, we'll go for some nice movement into our lifting hands. Up and down the front of the body, connecting the two palms, looking across at each other, sinking slightly back and down as we lower the palms down. As the breath comes into the body and fills the body, palms and arms expand and up. As we breathe out, the body relaxes down and in. So following the rhythm of your own particular rhythm of breathing in the body. It's as if the arms are being pulled up by strings as the breath comes in, fills the rib cage. Underneath the arms are lifting, as if the first finger is being lifted by a string. So let the arms soften, smooth. The palms and arms are very soft. Movement coming from the feet, pushing up from the feet, through the dantian. That rising into the rib cage and out into the arms like a wave, and then receding back down into the feet. Pushing up off the feet, expanding through the rib cage to the heart, the arms, and receding back in and down like a wave. These more meditative movements, you're really bringing your awareness to softening the movement through the body and tuning into a sense of natural chi flow in the body. So the movements are mirroring that. You're trying to get a sense of that yourself, not in any forced way, but more by relaxing and letting the body, joints, muscles soften, and noticing the strength in the legs. So as you push up from the feet, up through the dantian, through the rib cage, into the heart, and out through the arms and up, and then receding back in and down. Relying on the strength of the whole body, strength and stamina coming from the legs, moving, chi coming up through the body and being expressed in the arms. One more. This time, as we breathe in and expand, lifting the undersides of the arms out to the sides, then let them float back down. As we lower the arms and breathe out, sitting slightly back, letting the tailbone connect down to the earth. But one continuous movement as the flow comes up through the body and out into the fingertips. As the breath finishes its pause and starts to breathe out, the arms just float back down. There's just ever so slight pause at the top of the movement, but there's still probably a tiniest movement in the fingertips. So just like Qi, there's always a continuous flow of movement in Qigong and Tai Chi. There's never really a holding of a posture. It flows like the river, one into the next. It's probably different to yoga from that point of view. Expansion and contraction, but slow and smooth, working with the natural flow, the ebb and flow of the body. And working with your own body and all of its natural flexibilities, limitations, history of injuries and so on. If you have any trouble with any shoulders or different joints, just keep making the movement. Generally, we would say make the movement just smaller, don't rise the arms as much, but you're still getting the sense of flow of Qi internally. Also, if there's any trouble with knees, we bring the feet closer together and we don't rise or sink as much in the knees. You're still getting that nice wave through the body and movement of Qi. So really very much kindly noticing what the body needs. Very good, folks. Into silk reeling, shifting the weight side to side. And the arm follows the movement. So as we shift the weight across, turn the waist, the arm circles around to the side and crosses again in front as we turn again. Now sink the weight, turn the waist, circle up, shift the weight and turn. Like we're rotating here on the dantian, shifting the weight, turning the waist, movement coming from the belly. And think of the movement starting at the feet, if you like. The power and the direction comes from the waist, the turn of the waist, the core central area. So bringing this whole practices of Tai Chi and Qigong bring our center of gravity and our awareness right down low in the body. What I've noticed is that it also centers the mind in a much more steady place because you're very tuned in to the physical body and your energy system. So the mind, it's naturally, the nervous system calms and slows, but the clarity of thought is really positively affected. So it's not spreading out in lots of directions. It's like the whole unit moving as one. So much clearer, much maybe slightly more decisive. And when you take action, all of you is brought to that action. And by grounding ourselves, we're bringing a deeper connection to the mind of the body and of its expanded and full being, the mind, the body, and the spirit. Change direction, change palms, so shift the weight across and turn and circle. Show you from the side, so slightly wide shoulder than shoulder hip with the legs. I'm shifting the weight across and then turning the waist. Palm circles across in front of the chest, down the side, shift the weight, and as you turn, the arm crosses and gets pulled across the body. So I turn again, the arm gets pulled across. So I'm not really using any arm strength here. I'm using the power of the turn. And that just brings, and here again, shifting the weight and turning. So the arm is moving with the turn of the waist. That's a really critical principle of Tai Chi and Qigong. You're moving from the center Not letting these arms and limbs fly solo and do their own thing. So it's like the trunk of the tree, bringing everything in, being anchored, and then movement comes in and out from the center and back in. These practices help develop an awareness of that. The anchor in that is an experience in the body. So that's what you're after here, is experiencing the movements. Let the body feel the movements. How is the body responding to the movements? And when we do these lovely slow movements of Qigong and Tai Chi, you can be much more capable of feeling how they feel to you, rather than if we're very busy and it's very aerobic. Silk reeling. So for these as well, you can think of lowering the energy down under the ground. The palm goes down. And as we come up, drawing up fresh energy and drawing it into the body. Letting go as the palm goes down the side. And circling, drawing up fresh energy into the body, into the system. Relax into the movement. No hurry. We're in no rush. Soften anywhere that it's working a bit too hard. The legs are tiring. Bring them closer together. Still parallel. The body is tiring. Don't bend the knees so much. If you're fine, then wonderful. You're training strength into the legs. You're developing a sense of turning from the core, turning from the central dantian area. One more. Relax down. From there, we're going to cross the palms in front of the body. Keep them separate. And turn the palms out and open up as we separate the clouds. Slight bend in the knee, cross the arms in front of the dantian, up, turn out at the face, and then just part the arms down the outsides of the body. Separating the clouds. Again, expanding up from the feet, through the body, out into the arms. Drop the shoulders. Take any strain out of the movement. If you need to make the movement quite small, perfect, do that. So here you're developing all that sensitivity to how your body needs to move. Separating the clouds. So in all the ways we can separate clouds, any clouds overhead, energetically, just parting to see the clarity beyond them, parting anything obscuring our clear view. Useful for people who are studying, working their heads a lot, just parting all of the information that is coming into the brain and opening a bit of clarity and rest for the mind. It's lovely for the lungs and the heart. And then we'll step in to shoulder width, we'll step from shoulder width out into our bow stance, and we'll just expand the movement a little. So we're bending into the front knee, same arm movement, and looking up a little bit more overhead. So I'm not doing a back bend, just slightly looking up, not arching the back, keeping my chest soft, back straight, just looking up. So this movement is called touch the sea, look at the sky. So yin and yang, so coming down into the yin of the sea, the rest, the water, and then opening up to the yang of the sky, clear sky. So whether that's night or day, wherever you are, thinking of the yin coming in, contracting, gathering, and then opening again. So we draw in our foot, sink the weight, swap the feet, tap, and front foot forward, back foot to the corner. Away you go again. Touch the sea, look at the sky. So the arms stay parted. There's a sense of, as we turn them out, we're pushing out to the sides and opening our landscape, opening our visibility, our options, our ability to think outside the box. The slow flowing movement, relax into it as best you can. Touch the sea, look at the sky. Relax the palm down and in. We go back and step into the other foot, tap to the side and forward, and opening to the side, front arm straight ahead, back arm to the back. Draw in as you come into the front foot. Create this heart shape down along the center line. Opening, gather, and down. So it's a version of repulsed monkey. Again, this flow of yin and yang. So as we open, going into action, as we come in the center line, coming in and down to replenish and into the yin. So we need both. And there's always a flow from one into the other. Opening, gathering, and consolidating. So sense here as you reach out, opening of the heart, the chest. As you come forward and down, opening the back, long, straight, upright line through the spine. So sense the openness of the chest. I'm not sticking the chest out, it's still soft. And here, as I opening the back, I'm not pushing the back out. It's just bringing your awareness to the strength of the spine, the legs working to hold up that strength. Crown always reaching for the sky, always reaching upwards for that central alignment. So we're always aligning internally these points. As we change the feet again, we draw them in together as a V, tap out to the side and forward. So these central points, the top of the head and the perineum, internally they're aligned. So we keep that upright line for most of our movements. That axis point of uprightness and alignment. It's also where the yang energy of the body comes up the back. And that point at the top of the head, it's called the 100 meetings. And the base of the pelvic floor, perineum, is the gathering of yin. So the gathering of yin and the gathering of yang. And they are in alignment as we move. In your own way, get a sense of energy coming up the back, overhead, and down the front. As we open, chest is opening, gathering up overhead and down the front to the center line. Lovely. And step back in. A little bit of movement for our directions. So as you stand again with the feet parallel, a sense of opening up, palm to the ceiling, to the sky, other palm flat looking and connected to the earth. And draw in as you sink the knees, swap, pushing up and down, separating heaven and earth. So linking our awareness with what's above, so the sky, the yang energy, linking with the earth below. Sink, change. I'm not arching the back, nice and straight with the back, so I'm not doing this, keeping nice and straight, the center, axis points, top of the head, and perineum. Slight bend as we come into the center, as we sink slightly back, change and swap, reaching up and down. And from here, crossing the arms, front of the body, left and right, and pull across, push out, and swap overhead. Same again, pull left to right, bringing a sense of our attention and awareness to what's on either side of us. So north and south, above, below, sinking and connecting to those two directions with the fingertips. Swap the arms, pull across, left to right, east, west, circle overhead, and pull across again. North, south, east, west, above, below, and go over to the diagonals. Pull across the body to the diagonals. Circle to the other diagonal and pull across. North, south, sinking and pushing. East, west. Swap all the way around, west to east. Diagonals. Pull across the body, pushing slightly forward and back. And circle. Pull across the body again. So forward, southwest, northeast, northwest, southeast. Just gathering the arms overhead down the center line. So centering ourselves in the middle of all those directions. So we sink down, connect the feet deep into the earth. Circle out, drawing up all those directions, north, south, east and west. And all the diagonals. So all those sides of us, all those parts of our lives that are involved in different directions, gathered and moving from the center. So work life, home life, friendships, all the groups we belong to, all the directions that our lives go in and where our energy goes out to during the day. Just gathering all that back in, calling it all back in, so that we are centered in the middle of all our experiences. Anchored, the head reaching the skies, crown reaching upwards, tailbone reaching to the earth, roots down in deep into the ground, calling back all our energy to sense that even though we are involved in all these parts of our lives and have these aspects to us, they're all centered and coming from a centered place, and nourishing that connection to the center now. Fresh energy, And just this time, bringing the palms to the heart. And slowly drop the shoulders, drop the elbows, and drop the chin. Just do a silent standing meditation. Relax the back of the neck. Just do a minute silence. And slowly let the palms release down to the dantian. And straighten your gaze forward again. And lastly, just connecting again that crown upwards, lengthening the body up and down. Roots connected to the ground, trunk of the tree, strong and upright and centered. Just bringing all of that into you as you head out into the day or head to the land of Nod in Australia. About to you all, folks. Lovely to be able to join like this. Such a gift. And we'll see you again soon.